Welcome to this explainer. Right now, we're looking at a massive structural pivot happening in a country facing some seriously intense economic pressure. Picture an economy where a huge chunk of wealth is just circulating completely off the books. It's undocumented, it's untaxed, and it's happening all while the state is grappling with mounting debt. That is the historical context we're dealing with today. We are talking about the Silicon Blueprint for Pakistan's economic revival, and specifically, a dramatic transition away from literal mountains of human-led paperwork and manual record-keeping straight into the realm of AI-driven automation. Honestly, this isn't just an upgrade, it's a survival strategy.
Let's start with a really fundamental question. What is holding back economic efficiency? I mean, this is a puzzle that has genuinely baffled policymakers for decades, especially when they're trying to formalize a massive shadow economy. It's the exact question you'd ask any business owner, economist, or government official who spent their entire career trying to untangle a sluggish, heavily bureaucratic system where things just seem to move at a glacial pace.
And almost universally, you're going to hear this incredibly stark one-word answer: people. It's just human nature, right? In massive administrative systems, people make mistakes. They overlook crucial details when they're processing thousands of pages of customs documents. And yeah, sometimes people deliberately bend the rules. In the context of Pakistan's economy, this has historically looked like systemic tax evasion. Factories massively underreporting their daily production, and these informal arrangements designed to just completely bypass official channels. The real-world consequence? A severely diminished revenue stream that literally cripples the government's ability to fund essential public services.
Act 1. The human bottleneck. Okay, let's dive into this.
For years, the traditional approach to managing government processes and enforcement has leaned almost entirely on human judgment. So when governments wanted to improve something like tax collection, the old playbook was super simple. Send in more human inspectors, conduct more audits, and tighten enforcement on the ground. But here's the paradox. The more a system relies on human judgment, the more vulnerable it becomes to error, inconsistency, and corruption. Think about it. Adding more human headcount didn't actually solve the problem. It essentially meant adding more points of failure, more layers of bureaucracy, and deeper levels of gatekeeping where documents could mysteriously get stalled or fast-tracked depending on who you happen to know.
Act 2. Enter the digital tax man.
And this brilliantly illustrates the shift we're seeing. We are moving from a reactive, manual process to a proactive, totally automated one. Instead of relying entirely on what businesses choose to report at the end of the year, and then waiting months for a human auditor to maybe, just maybe, discover something suspicious, the new method uses real-time software and algorithms. A really concrete example of this is the integration of digital invoicing and real-time point-of-sale tracking directly linked to the revenue authorities. It fundamentally alters the dynamic, going from trusting a dusty paper ledger to verifying a continuous, encrypted digital stream.
Let's move to and see how this builds in practice. This draws on the dozens of operational production monitoring systems currently coming online, like the new track and trace system. We're talking about critical, high-volume industries here: sugar, cement, fertilizer. Step 1. The system tracks activity in real time. Every single bag of cement or sugar gets a unique digital stamp right there on the production line. Step 2. Artificial intelligence analyzes vast, almost unimaginable amounts of data, instead of some poor inspector manually combing through thousands of shipping manifests. Step 3. The software flags unusual patterns instantly. Say a factory reports buying enough raw materials to produce 10,000 units, but only pays taxes on 5,000. Boom! The system generates an automated alert to help authorities identify high-risk cases the absolute moment they happen.
By highlighting these discrepancies, patterns that would otherwise go completely unnoticed by a human inspector, the objective becomes crystal clear. This mandate comes directly from initiatives led by the Federal Board of Revenue, and the goal is fewer loopholes, greater transparency, and less reliance on human intervention. I mean, it's a beautifully simple set of goals powered by incredibly complex AI. By removing the human element from that initial detection phase, the system theoretically strips away the opportunity for bias or, those under-the-table negotiations.
Act 3. Expanding the digital net.
Now ask yourself, what happens when you take this super powerful technological framework and apply it beyond just catching tax evaders? What happens when you expand the net to everyday citizens? Well, this is exactly why this matters to the broader economy. This digital push connects ordinary people to the formal financial system through platforms like the Rost Instant Payment System. We are talking about scaling up housing loans, microfinance programs, agricultural financing, and a whole suite of digital lending initiatives. Imagine a small-scale farmer trying to get a loan for seeds. In the old system, they might face endless paperwork and potentially biased human loan officers. Now, algorithms assessing digital financial footprints make it vastly easier and much quicker to access credit. It's really all about using automation to create unprecedented financial inclusion.
Act 4, the physical reality check. But we do need to ground this high-tech optimism in a harsh, undeniable physical reality. 20 to 40%. Just let that sink in for a second. That is a staggering, absolute gut punch of a metric representing a massive systemic failure. When you translate that percentage into actual economic loss, you are looking at billions of dollars wiped out and a severe blow to the national GDP, completely independent of any software system.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is exactly what's behind that number. We're talking about post-harvest loss. Pakistan loses significant quantities of crops every single year. Why? Because of inadequate storage facilities and weak supply chains. Before the produce even reaches the consumers, up to 40% is just gone. And the stark reality here is that the smartest software and the most advanced AI algorithms in the whole world cannot fix these physical problems. You can have the most efficient digital agricultural financing system to help a farmer grow more wheat, but if the road to the market is unpaved and washes away in a flood, or if there's no continuous power supply to run the cold storage facility, the crop still rots. Code simply can't build a warehouse, and a silicon blueprint can't pave a highway.
Act 5, the big bet. This brings us to the core thesis of this entire economic strategy. Pakistan is placing a massive bet. They are betting that their economic revival won't come from adding more human headcount to manage a flawed bureaucracy, but by letting technology completely take over key parts of it. We're seeing a fascinating tension unfold right in front of us, the brilliant, frictionless potential of real-time AI clashing directly with the hard, physical reality of rotting crops and infrastructure deficits. Whether these digital reforms can deliver on their grand promise, especially when faced with those harsh physical limits, well, that remains to be seen. But the direction is clear, the software is running, and the future of this economy is being rewritten. So the crucial point is, can algorithms truly code away human economic problems? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning the systems around you, and I'll catch you next time.